So today's lesson is all about the best way to play when you're a senior golfer or have a slight lack of flexibility. Little things you can do to make a difference to play better golf straight away. Won't need to get to the range, might need to hit a few shots to get comfortable, but certainly it'll be instantaneous how you will be able to make changes to your golf technique to play better golf straight away. So senior golfers, the tendency is to have a lack of rotation, which then causes issues in swing plane and causes issues in distance and ability to get back to the ball consistently. What we'll look at today is ways to make sure you are able to create your maximum turn, and it's very much specific about your turn rather than the turn or the precise turn that we'd want any golfer to make. What we tend to see, obviously, with a lot of golfers is they tend to have a very wide stance, and then when they try and make a turn, there's very much so a lack of rotation. What I want to see when you get certainly a little bit stiffer or a little bit older is you make sure your stance gets a little bit narrower for starters. That's the first point to change. I also want to see the toes pointing out more flare, particularly in this trail foot. And ideally what I want to see in the trail foot is it brought back an inch or two. So if you look at the stance width here now, we're looking at just narrower than shoulder width. If I put my arm straight down, it kind of goes to the outside of my feet, roughly. Okay, for an iron shot particularly. I want this foot drawn back and flared out a touch. Now what this is going to do is going to allow this hip to work more. It's going to allow us to turn and create space and depth in our backswing, which is key. What we want is not necessarily a huge move off the ball, but we want is a turn. So we want to feel that the foot being drawn back helps preset our hips in a little bit more of a closed position. That in turn helps to encourage us to get depth with these hips, depth with these arms. So if we're able to get depth with the body and arms, it helps us hit from the inside. Now, hitting from the inside helps us hit it the furthest we can. Cutting across the golf ball and creating the oblique strikes is the weakest way to play. And if you have a lack of turn, the chances are you're going to swing across the golf ball and come over the top. Get that glancing blow, get those toe strikes, hit those big slices. So we want to create depth. We also want to feel that little bit of extension. So depth and extension, and then freewheel on the way through. Now, having the foot back and having the foot flared out is going to restrict you a little bit on the way through. I'm not so worried about that for senior golfers. I want to make sure we get behind the golf ball, hit it from the inside, and if we hit it with a bit too much draw because we're restricted and our hands get a bit active through the ball, we get a bit of flash speed, that is okay for me. Now, if you're more supple, then I definitely want you to turn through the golf ball as well. So I definitely don't want you to feel that you're going to stop at the ball. Create the energy and effort to the target and not to the ball. So don't try and restrict your rotation. What I'm saying to you is it might happen because of this stance. Let's go through a shot and the processes. So if we take our stance, and if we go feet together, and just go very narrow, right foot back and flare it out. That is my setup position. Now when we swing, right pocket back towards my golf bag. Initiate that early and very consciously. And then from there, smash it down the right hand side. Fraction of a push, slight bit of draw in it, just coming back there at the very end. Might be helped by a bit of wind, but definitely felt I had loads of space and the ability to turn from the inside, which is exactly what I want. And if you're a senior golfer, that's what I want you to do. Now, I will encourage senior golfers to use more fairway woods, use more hybrids and long irons, because again, it helps this kind of technique. We're trying to get you to turn. We're trying to get you, if anything, to feel like your weight is shifting to the right and trail side. So we want to make sure we're sweeping that ball. That's a word I don't really like, but we're definitely not feeling that we're loading left on the backswing and hitting down heavily on the golf ball. We still want to hit down on the ball, but it's definitely going to benefit us to have those metal woods, those fairway woods, those rescue clubs, because it's going to suit us turning behind and being deep and hitting from the inside more so. So I hope you've enjoyed what I class as the best tip for senior golfers out there. If you do, please click like and share the video. Also, please post questions, comments, requests for videos, and tell me a little bit about your golf and obviously what's going on in your country at the moment. We're on lockdown here in the UK, so it's difficult to get out and play golf and get any real golf action going. Obviously, I'm happy to help you with online golf lessons if any of you need that. Just look on my website for details of that. So thank you for joining me today. Hope to see you here again very soon.